my lovelies, and I've just been counting the seconds until I could see you again. It's Tuesday night, isn't it? And that means that this is Tuesday Night Live, coming at you from Windy Bottom, directly into your eyes and your ears. Boaty's World, what? Boaty's World, Ausli Content. Right, excellent. Okay, apparently everybody's watching Simon, but never mind, I can still carry on and do this, and people can watch it on catch-up, can't they? So, hello to anybody who is here. Matt is certainly here. Jimmy Quinn, hello my friend, how the devil are you? Black Lines, hello. Simone is here but not here. Oh, and Chaz Brown. Oh, Trace, hello Trace the Greenwood. Chaz Brown says, hi Boaty. Hi Chaz. Nice video today in your MGF, the talking car. Yeah. Wetleg von Tittybiscuits has found her voice, hasn't she? And I'm not sure if that is a good thing or not. But yeah, it's certainly making journeys a little bit on the interesting side. I'm glad you enjoyed the video, Chaz, and thank you for letting me know. I would like to know how your days have been and how you're feeling at the moment. Not just today, generally, as we toddle into spring and hopefully things are on a general uplift. I'd like to hear about your plans for the spring and summer ahead. And if any of you are going through a bad time, I'd like to hear about that as well, because we haven't spoken about that for a while, have we? And I get some friendly little nudges that it's something that we always ought to keep, not banging on about it, but making it a conversational area that's always there for us to go into if we need to. Excuse me. Skick says, are Freelanders aluminium body? Now, I'm glad you've asked me that, Skick, because today I did something a little bit different. On a whim and entirely unexpectedly, I tried to make a proper video. You know, a proper video like proper YouTubers do. And that would have been a jolly good question for me to answer in this gig, but I'll answer it now. No, Freelanders aren't an aluminium body. They're steel bodied, but they do have plastic wings, front wings. Excuse me, frog in the old throat, for various reasons, and of course they've got the massive side mouldings. Rot is not generally a huge issue above the plimsoll line, but it's a massive issue below the plimsoll line. And there are areas where they are particularly prone to it, around the sunroof, around the rear door, that sort of thing. But I'm talking about Freelander 1s. I can't speak for Freelander 2s, whether they're aluminium or not. To try and find out a little about the Freelander 2, I made the massive mistake of watching Mustard's video where he reviewed one. It was Senior Mustard's, and oh God, I was wetting myself at it. We're a couple of minutes into the video, and he's saying, "No, this of course is a facelift model, and it is 2008." And then he stopped and said, "Or 2009." And then he said something else and said, "Actually, I think it might be 2010. And then there's just a caption that comes up underneath saying, "Yeah, it was actually 2011. You don't. I love Mustard's reviews, but you don't watch them for correct factual information, do you? Oh dear me. The party bus has arrived. Black Lines is here, Bad Books is here, Splendid. Liz is here. Oh, hello, Mike's here as well. Classic Wheels Wales. Hello, Jason and Humans. Oh, hello. Pingu says, hey, Boaty. Hey, Pingu. HJ has just been delivered. I said quite an emotional goodbye to HJ on Monday, although I did mention that I hoped it would be au revoir rather than goodbye. Got a fair bit of history with that car, but I'm kind of a believer that somehow, on some level, the universe kind of knows what it's doing. And things work out the way that they need to. Not always, but sometimes or a lot of the time. And if you think about it, I've got 2 broken cars and the last thing I would have needed was HJ still hanging around, also needing work. The chances are that poor old HJ would have got shoved to the back of the queue and he'd have been sitting in Mustard's yard for months and months on end. So I'm really glad that things have worked out how they have, and he's now in the capable and caring hands of Pingu, where he stands a jolly good chance of getting properly sorted, rather than just kicking his tyres around for months and months in the Yard of Dreams. So I'm quite happy with the way that that's worked out, and I hope that it's a splendid car for you. I think I saw or heard somewhere that he's going to be your wife's Arthur. Is that right? He makes a good Arthur. He was a cracking Arthur for me. He's got his faults, of course. To be fair, most of which are endemic to the facelift 45 rather than being specific to him. I mean, you'll find them out soon enough, so you know, I won't spoil your pleasure at the anticipation, but he's fundamentally an excellent car with a splendid history, and I hope his future is very much assured. Lovely stream from Simon tonight, says Trace. That's good. Oh, brilliant video, Boaty, says Jimmy. Thank you very much. That was it's a little bit silly and a little bit thrown together, but today's, which will be going out tomorrow, if I can get the editing done, haven't even started it yet, and it's going to be a big edit. Now, I won't say that I'm excited because I think it might be okay, because whenever I say that and I think I've done a good video, like my video with the Fiat 500 with Steve's little Luigi, I thought that was a brilliant video and no bugger watched it. Absolutely no bugger watched it. So I'd better not say that, and I'd better not jinx it, but I did try today to do a more proper, informative video where I actually introduce you properly to one of my cars with some information and a proper walk around and a proper look and a bit of background into the model and all of that. It'll probably be absolutely pants. We're expecting you at midnight, Boaty, says Trace. Oh, we're? I couldn't do another late one tonight. It's it was now or never. I've just had more and more nights of not getting anything done, and I don't get a chance to do anything during the day because I get up in the morning and I edit. I get the video or videos scheduled for that day. I mean, like, look at today. This is my 4th video of today. And now, okay, this one's a live, so it doesn't count. but the first three, I had to edit and schedule and upload. And for those of you who don't do YouTube, it's a lengthy, fiddly and time-consuming process. So that's the mornings taken care of, and then I've got to try and get some content for the next day's video. So, you know, the chance of getting much householdy admin stuff done during the day is slim, and so I desperately need to do some tonight. So I'm stopping at midnight, and I'm going to do an hour and a half actually in the house, and catch up on all of the bits and pieces that I need to catch up on and plan for tomorrow. And all of that sort of thing. So that's why I didn't come on at midnight. I normally come on at midnight because that's when Mustard finishes. He normally does 10 till around midnight, but there doesn't seem to have been a Mustard tonight, so I thought I'd be in the clear at 11. My day is like Groundhog Day, says Jimmy. Trace is off for a wee, saying, excuse me while I nip to the powder room. Oh, we've got one health review. And unsurprisingly, it's from GPS. I look forward to GPS's messages. Boaty ballbag, how's it hanging, you pottering, sniffing arse licker? It's still hanging slightly to the left, GPS. Skick says, I'm looking for an engine for your car, Simone. I want a new one, or as near as I can get to it. Oh, right, well, jolly good. I'm not reading that out, Matt, because you've already done that joke in the group. It's not worth double bubble. You got away with it once. I'm not. Pingu Concord says, loving the Wetleg drive video. Good to hear her voice is real and not just in my head. Oh, her voice is very, very real, and and it enjoys giving me a bit of grief. Somebody even picked up on something that I missed. They picked it up in the comments. I thought it was a spelling mistake, but I went back and watched the video, and it wasn't. Because in the comments, he said, I can't remember who it was. I apologise, I can't remember. But he said, watch out for the speed camera, Boaty. What a caring woman she is. And I thought, oh, he's made a spelling mistake there. But then I went and watched the video back, and the cheeky cow, Wetleg, she called me Boaty. I couldn't get my bloody hat off, yeah. Watch the speed camera, Boaty. I completely missed that when I was editing it. So, yeah, she got a good dig in there. Oh, dear. Right, we're talking about our days. And Bad Book says, it's been a busy and challenging work day today and got a stressed out transport manager to calm down early in the morning. Oh, you've got a stressed out transport manager to calm down early in the morning. So not here for long. Well, good luck with that, Bad Books. I think we've all been there, and some of us probably still are there. I made a decision after having been taken poor. I made a decision that I didn't fancy any more stress. I've never been particularly stressed. I've always had the ability to just let things slide off me. Some things, certainly, you know, personal, emotional things, they'll pierce my skin. But like business stuff and work stuff and that sort of thing, I've never let that stress me. When I'm in the workspace or workplace or work time, I deal with it. And then when I leave work, I leave all of those issues as well. I wouldn't even let them cross my mind when I'm, you know, playtime is playtime. And you need to be able to close your mind off from work in order to fully and completely wind down. If you start letting elements of that creep into your personal life, So they affect you in your personal time, and they could also impinge on your family if you have one, or your friends. That's not a tremendously good situation, and it's well worth trying to avoid that. But I decided to avoid stress full stop, and just have a life where I pretty much only did things that I really enjoy. And that's pretty much what I've done. Now, it hasn't made me rich. In fact, it's maintained my absolute poverty. But I have a life where I spend my days, my evenings, doing what I enjoy doing. There's not a day that I don't enjoy, and there's not a tomorrow that I don't look forward to. Now, it's kind of a sacrifice, because you sacrifice success, financial security, your perceived place in society perhaps. But you know what? I couldn't give a rat's arse about it. I found happiness is something that I previously underrated, and I would recommend seeking happiness to you all. Actually, it's a really jolly good thing. Oh, and my unpaid intern has qualified the situation. 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, unless mustard dessert Tuesday live. That is absolutely correct, Matt. That is the official timings. So good job, you're on the ball, Matt. Well done, you. Project MGTF Simon, who I thanked fulsomely on the previous live, and I don't think he was there to see it. So I'll thank him again now. I'll just remind you that Simon very, very kindly gave me some brilliant cassette cases. I mentioned the type that I wanted, and he's obviously as anal as I am, because he picked up on it immediately, said he had some somewhere, and he found them. So those are the perfect cases for Shison. And the cases that Pingu kindly sent me will be perfect for Wetleg, because the plan is, as I mentioned last night, for Wetleg to be fitted with an OEM original fitment radio cassette. I've agreed the deal with the chap, and he's perfectly happy to post it to me. The only slight stumbling block is I haven't actually got the money. So that's one of the things that I need to do, is to get my sat navs and possibly a couple of other bits and pieces on the old Facebook marketplace, to raise a couple of bob. It's, you know, like we said last night, it's kind of like Matt's swap shop idea, except I can't do a direct swap. So you sell something in order that you can buy something else. And again, the universe has worked out the way it should. The universe threw me that little thing I showed you last night. I'm sure you're all the same people. I don't need to show it to you again, do I? But I bloody will, because I love it. Where's it gone? Where did I put it? Where did I put that thing? Where did I put that thing? I cannot remember now. Where did I put that thing? I didn't think I'd put it over here. Oh, yes, I did. I'm going to show it to you again. Because small things, please, small minds. Boom. Now, if you had one of those, how could you, and an original stereo with the code and with all of the paperwork came up on Facebook Marketplace, how could you not interpret that as the universe telling you that Wetleg needs an original stereo? And when the universe talks to you, it's a jolly good idea to listen. In it, bruv. Oh yeah, and Simon also gave me some of his owl troll, and I can't wait to try that. Oh bollocks, I meant to buy a paintbrush tonight, and I completely forgot. Never mind, there's always tomorrow, isn't there? Oh, yeah. Don't know what time you joined us, Simon, but there was a lot of love for your live stream tonight. It was, by all accounts, it was an absolute cracker. So, well done you. And I didn't realise, I got in a little bit late. I was a bit late leaving work. And apparently you were still going when I started. Because somebody popped on and said, we're all watching Simon. And I said, oh, okay, well, never mind. I'll crack on and people can watch it on Doings, you know, on Watchback, which would suit me because then it would be monetized. And as long as they left that knob alone, I'd actually make a couple of bob out of it, which would be nice. But anyway, yeah, apparently you kind of finished as I started. So we are where we are, it's all good. But thank you very much for those bits and pieces. I was going to say you've got no idea how pleased I am with the cassette cases, but I suspect that you actually do know because you've got that inner geek in you, the same as I have. We might be geeky about different things, but one geek will always be sympathetic to another geek's geekery, even if their geekery is geeking in a different area of geekness. And now I'm losing the sense of the word geek. More love for Simon. Project MGTF, thank you for a great stream. Proper safe space talk within the bunker stuff, the cats and the cars. Simon says, GPS, are you still stroking you? Bloody hell, Simon, you might as well have just carried on and I'd have come and watched yours. They're all talking about you, mate. God, did you do 2.5 hours? Bloody hell. Authors need faults. Authors need faults, says Matt. Otherwise you wouldn't want to daily them. There's some truth in that. Oh, Mike, bless you. Mike, the lovely Mike of Classic Wheels Wales, has bunged me a Lady Godiva, for which I am exceptionally grateful. Thank you, Mike. Here's cheers to you, and cheers to everyone else as well. Let's have a slurp. Oh, Trace says, Boaty, loving the lunch, caravan, doings vids, and the highlights, etc. Thank you, Trace. Do feel free to give me feedback on any of my videos, to tell me if they're crap, to tell me if you like them, tell me if you want more of that sort of thing, or less of that sort of thing. I will not take offence. I've got 2 or 3 people who just seem to be spending their lives telling me exactly where I'm going wrong at the moment, exactly where I need to improve, and exactly what my problems are, which I actually find quite endearing and amusing. But thank you for that, Trace. I've always enjoyed the lunch vids, although I recognise that you'd need to be quite committed to plough your way through a whole hour-long unedited vid. I presume that people who do watch them either dip in and out, or have them on in the background, and that's what led me to another one of your mentions, the highlights. My thinking there was, because I video pretty much day to day, then on a Monday, obviously I don't have time to edit a video, get anything out. And I probably haven't got any content to get out on a Monday anyway. And I suddenly thought, well, I bet you there's some really good bits in the lunch video. Some people have commented on it, and sometimes I've noticed it. The best bits are always about 40 minutes in, and there'll be 10 minutes of gold. But who the hell is going to get to see them? Who, you know, not many are going to be committed enough to sit through 40 minutes of us guzzling our food. And we do tend to guzzle our food now. We tend to, rather than chat, the first 20 minutes just seems to be solid eating, because well, we've got our food preferences nailed now. So I thought, on a Monday, why not just pick out some highlights of the videos of the previous week? Partly because it gives me a bit of content to put out without me having to make new content, which I'm not able to do on that day. But also because I genuinely think there will be people who simply wouldn't see it otherwise, because it's hidden in the middle of a driving to fetch lunch video, or at the end of a Mustard and Boaty do lunch video. So that's something that I'm probably planning to carry on with. The caravan videos, again, for our joint channel, I was desperately aware that season 1 was just 7 or 8 episodes of pretty much nothing happening, and we couldn't afford to let that happen again. So I was determined there had to be some sort of continued forward progress in terms of our joint channel and in terms of the caravan, which is kind of the initial feature of the joint channel, as I always intended it to be. I know that I got a bit of stick from some people, good-natured stick, particularly from Simon, that we didn't do anything to the caravan for months and months and months. And I said, well, it's too cold, the weather's not right. But the truth is, it was always planned for the relaunch of our joint channel, which we had, unusually for us, we had actually planned out privately. So, yeah, I knew that we needed to have forward movement, and I think that we're achieving that. I mean, you'll be the judge on Thursday when you see episode 2. I don't think that it's a step back from episode 1. We properly got at it. Things happened, things were discovered, things were sorted, and again, without giving too much away, there was some movement, which I mentioned last night. And then next week's video, which of course will be filmed on Bank Holiday Monday, that's either going to be a complete disaster, brilliant, or brilliant because it's a complete disaster. Because next week's video is going to be the real big one, and you can probably imagine what that involves, or at least it's going to be the first of the big ones. So there you are. Thank you for that, Trace. I appreciate that, and I just thought I'd quickly waffle on about kind of the reasonings behind them, and also just to reiterate the plans I've got for this channel going forward, which I've actually done something today. It wasn't just empty talk last night. I did go out and I've made what should be a different, how can I put it? A video that I put a bit more effort into, and that should be a little bit more mainstream than my usual meandering crap. But again, you can be the judge of that tomorrow, when it should go out. And also, as I promised I would, I managed to get out tonight, whilst at work on work time. I managed to go and pick up that camping chair. So I just need to lay my hands on a table and I will be ready for my Land Rover lunches, which Pingu suggested I combine, and I'd already had the idea, so as I said last night, great minds thought alike, which I intend to combine some of them with Boaty's stations. There are some lovely railway stations which I'd like to share with you, even if you're not particularly interested in railways or trains or stations or whatever. They're just really interesting and somewhat idyllic locations. So if we can combine that with a bit of a nice drive there and back, a bit of cookery, a bit of outdoor cookery, and so on, I think that they might be quite a nice feature. Now, I was going to do a cookout tomorrow, and I've decided not to. I've decided to wait until I get a table, only because, you know, I was thinking of doing just something like simple, like trying to make, you know, the ultimate sausage sandwich again with beautiful farm shop sausage and fresh bread and whatnot. But I don't want to do it in the back of the Land Rover. I know that sounds stupidly precious, but it's not a massive space in the back there, and I don't want it all stinking of food or, you know, bits of whatever spitting out of the pan. So I'm going to wait until I can lay my hands on one of those little fold-up tables to match the chair. The chair is just one of those. You've all seen them. You've all probably got one of those metally fold-up ones with canvas. You fold it up, you put it in a bag. But this is quite a good one. It's a regatta. It's brand new. I had a look online and they're 45 quid, and I got it brand new for a £5 that I paid for with coins out of the emergency coin purse, which, as we all know, does not count as actual money. You're allowed to spend that without a backwards glance. It doesn't count. Coins don't count. So there you are. In the meantime, until I get a table, what I might do is take a picnic. I've got the chair now. I've got a picnic rug. I've got the hamper. So until I can do the actual cooking, it might be picnic lunches, which I can then eat in the car if the weather's pants whilst looking at a station or something. I'm quite excited about that. Simone says, Boaty. She might not have said it like that. She wouldn't have said it in such an exclamatory, deep-voiced way, I imagine. She would have said, no, I won't tell you how she would have said it, because that would mean impersonating her, and I can't. But she wouldn't have said it like that. But I'll try again. Boaty. See, that was softer, wasn't it? I had a quote, didn't I? Simone is not Brian Blessed. Boaty. Simone's got a lovely voice. Very good presenting voice. Boaty, you've started this 3 times. Can we get through it, please? And don't say Boaty again. Boaty! I told you not to say that. Sorry. Boaty, oh, fucking hell, you've done it again. But I had a quote to fix the paint on my 75. Oh, bloody hell. The chap said it would cost a bag of sand, which, for those of you who aren't familiar with either Cockney rhyming slang or car dealer slang, a bag of sand is £1,000. In other words, 1,000 of the king's pounds, which is a fair old lump of change, really, in it. So, oh, yes. Yeah. Well, how do you feel about that, Simone? Do you fancy raising the money to do it, or are you just going to live with it as it is? You know, it's a diesel 75, isn't it? I mean, it's they're a lovely thing. I loved Sir Arnold. No doubt another one will enter my life at some point, but you know, they're a bit of a workhorse, really, aren't they? So do they need to be perfect? It's not your show car. You've got TC, haven't you? I mean, I understand you want him to look the best that he can, but throwing 1,000 quid at him, maybe wait until the panels come up individually, and you won't notice the money then if you just buy the panels as and when they come up in the right colour. Well, that's just rude, isn't it? You buggered off. That's something that I would like to talk about one of these days. Expressions for money. Back slang, car dealer slang, and Cockney rhyming slang. Now, I don't know if it's true for all car dealers, but when I was a car dealer, we had our own expressions for money. And that wasn't so that we could be exclusive. Well, it kind of was. It was so we could discuss prices in front of the customer without the customer knowing what we were talking about. So, you know, if we were looking at a part chop, and in my dealership, a lot of the part exchanges that we took, you couldn't, you know, they didn't have a book value. You couldn't look at. I hope that's not going to keep happening. Where did I get to before you cut off? Yeah, I'm talking about PXs. Now, if you're dealing in modern cars and something comes in, then back in the day it was dead easy. Have a look in glasses, have a look at the book price, tells you where you need to be. These days, I suppose, you could also do it online, you know, just put the make and model in, do a search on Auto Trader and see what the cheapest is within a 50-mile radius. But if somebody comes in, if somebody's buying, I don't know, say somebody's buying a Shadow 2 and they want to chop in a Daimler 250, how are you going to value that? It's a very, very subjective thing. Or if somebody's buying, right, this is annoying. Why is the, I don't know why that's happening. It's not windy outside, it's not howling with rain. Let me turn the internet off on some things, see if that helps. Settings, Wi-Fi, off. That's one phone. Do it on this phone. Settings, Wi-Fi, off. Now remind me to put those back on because I keep forgetting. I haven't had to do this for a while. The internet's been okay. I've completely forgotten what I was talking about now. Yeah, imagine somebody was buying an MGC and wanted to chop in, say they were buying a CGT and wanted to chop in a BG. Bollocks. Right, well, the universe clearly doesn't want me to do a live stream tonight, so I will abandon that chat and quickly go through some messages in case this just goes completely tits up. Which is a shame. I had some interesting things to talk about then. Are you stroking your... Oh, right, no, that's aimed at Simon. Oh, Mike's offered to sort out Simone 75. Does GPS say tits and bollocks a lot? What's that about? Right, so it's clearly not working, so I'm just going to whiz through the comments and sod off, basically. Just see if there's anything that I desperately... You still there? You still there? Hang on, my dears. Oh, evening, Nathan. Oh, right. Oh, this is interesting. I tell you when they're crap, says UPS. Yeah, you certainly do. Am I the only one that speaks the truth? Not necessarily. But I also pat you on the back on a good video, and when I'm speechless, I just say no comment. Yeah, sometimes it's kindest to say nothing at all, isn't it? Skick says, as you asked, the reviews are great. Right, I can't cope with this anymore. Whiz through the comments and we'll say goodnight because this is annoying for me and for you. The trips for cars are good. The past and pastimes are brill. The kebab runs are last and do you no favours. That's just getting the best out of a Monday, to be honest, Skick. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good, some of them have got good bits in them. Re-highlights. Use a quick 20-second snip as a hook at the beginning of the long vid. You still there? You can also then use the longer clippage as a highlight upload, but also reels people in from the get-go on the longs. Good idea, Trace. That is a good idea. Right, Simon. I forgot it's bank holiday. Are you up for a visitor, or are you both too busy? Simon, we're not going to be there. And I can't say any more. I can't say any more than that. Yeah, that's. Can't say any more. Said too much already. Bad Book says good night all. GPS accuses Simon of using clickbait and says he got me with one of those and calls him a git. Waitress buttocks. I found that when Boaty used wordage on his thumbnail cover pics, something I have nicked, I was more drawn to watch. Okay. Oh, body for home, shape for confidence, shape for comfort, body form for you. Why are we talking about body form? I could buy another 75 for just over £1,000. You could indeed. A generic buffering. The interwebs are escaping. Yeah, it's all gone tits up tonight. Close the door. I'm not downloading porn for later. I don't do porn, you know that. What network are you on, Boaty? Virgin Media has been wiped out on and off all day. I'm on, God, what am I on? I'm on the one that's BT, but it's not called BT, because me and BT fell out. And I'm with the one the cheap one that begins with P, and I can't remember what it's called. It's not cable or anything like that. We don't have that here. God, were they Telewest? I used to work for Virgin Media. They made a lot of progress since they were Telewest. Bloody hell, I've forgotten about Telewest. I'm with BT and it's always been good. I've been with BT all of my adult life until now, when I'm with the one that begins with P. There is actually BT, just under another name. PlusNet, that's the one, Simone, PlusNet. That's who I'm with, and you're with them too. Don't give up. If you do, they win. Chesticles. Oh, the BBC are after him. They've hacked his Wi-Fi. Oh dear. Back to the Tourette streams. Dirty pillows. Oh God. Oh dear. Boaty's going to pick up his new car. What new car, Jimmy Quinn? I haven't got a new car. I can't afford a new car. I can't afford to repair my existing cars. It's working well now, says Trace. Well, for the moment, yeah. Pottering broadband. Definitely better now, no buffering. Right. Okay. Well, we've got 14 minutes left until I bugger off. Would you like to talk about something? Would you like me to talk about something in particular? Or shall I just carry on about dealer slang for money and valuing part exchanges? You can choose. You can choose. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, well, Simone says no to all of the above and she's buggering off to bed. Don't blame you, Simone. You jinxed it by saying it was working well. Right, I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that. I'm going to play you out. I'm going to say thank you for being here as best as you could be. Apologies for my internet not working as well as it should. Tell us about why silver cars are your favourite. They're not. I just had a silver car amongst cars of other colours, and then I got another car that was also a Rover and was also silver, and my OCD kicked in and I said, right, that is the universe telling me that I must now only have silver cars. So I have. It's not my favourite colour. It's not the colour that I would choose. Or, well, it probably is now. I've kind of got used to it. But no, it wasn't a choice. It just happened by accident, and then the OCD kicked in, and I think there might be a little bit of truth in silver cars being one of the less popular colours, and that means that they they tend to be a little bit less saleable, so you might get them a little bit cheaper. Although I think Boo the Freelander, oh, shameless plug, I haven't looked at the footage that I did today, let alone begin to edit it, but do please watch the video that goes out tomorrow night in the 1919 slot, just in case I've actually done something semi-worthwhile for once. Or if not, just because Boo looks great in silver. I even went for an atmospheric shot. You know, I got all arty-farty, and I'm dying to see if it works. So, the plan for tomorrow is to clamber out of my bed at 9 o'clock, come downstairs, make coffee, have a slice of toast, crack on with editing that video together. It'll be the only one tomorrow. I'm not putting a lunchtime video out. Get that edited, done, uploaded, scheduled for 1919. Go out at about 12 or half 12 and do the video for the day after, whatever day that is. I've lost track of what day it is. And I still haven't decided what to do, whether to go out and have a picnic at one of the railway stations, or whether to go out and do a Boaty's Bogs at Eam Historical Shithouse, or just do something else entirely. But I need to do something. And then it'll be back, have lunch if I didn't have a picnic, jump in the shower, go to work. It's an exciting life, isn't it? Don't forget David Gower. Why? Why should I not forget David Gower? What make of cars did you sell before? Asked Chaz Brown. You name it, I sold it. We sold vintage cars, veteran cars, sports cars, supercars, exotic cars, classic cars. So Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maserati, Rolls Royce, Bentley, you name it, Porsche, a lot of Porsche, Lotus, quite a lot of Lotus actually, although they were never easy to sell, TVR, everything you can think of, that, and all of the classic and vintage and veteran stuff. A lot of Rolls Royces, a lot of Bentleys. Bristols were my personal favourite and the car that I'm probably most expert in. Bread and butter stuff were MGs. Most of the time that I was dealing, I used to sell about 30 MGs a month. You got to bear in mind that it was at the time after the classic car crash in the mid to late 90s. Prices were on their arse. Jaguars, Daimlers, loads of Jaguars. I sold E-types left, right and centre. Not just E-types, I sold XKs, 120s, 140s, 150s. Every Jaguar known to man, basically. But yeah, prices were on their arse. So having been seen mainly as investments, they suddenly became available to the enthusiast again. So MGs were a daily sale. Like I said, we sold 30 of those a month because that was an entry-level classic. Generally speaking, if people were buying their first classic car and it was going to be like a bit of a, you know, a cheap and usable thing, they either bought an MGB or a Volkswagen Beetle. And I loved the MGB and I hated the Volkswagen Beetle. Could never understand why anybody would buy them. Used to sell loads of them to students or parents of students. It was a Volkswagen Beetle that I sold to Jasper Carrot for his son that he ended up doing the sketch about. God, it was an awful car. All Volkswagen Beetles are awful cars. Even the one owned by a girl named Jael, Jael, and I've never heard that name before or since as a girl's name, and she had tremendous boobs, and I was determined to podger her just so that I could say I'd been in jail. I know it's a really bad joke, but it's true and it happened, so I'm telling you about it. So yeah, that was all the stuff that we sold. It was a big showrooms. We'd hold up to 400 cars on site. We also had a physical auction house, and we used to have quarterly auctions, which were quite big affairs, and some of which were televised around the world. Simone's working in the morning. I've done the silver car thing. We're still coming up with other words for breasts, apparently. Fun balloons. I like that. Like, even if you didn't, because the broadband has been pants. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. If you could go back to being 20 again, what occupation would you choose? Asks Skik. That is a really interesting question, and I have a definite answer for you. Now, my life went the way that it went. I've had amazing times, I've done amazing things, and I wouldn't change it. But if I could rewrite history, then I would still have my career as a professional athlete, but in my fantasy world, it wouldn't have been curtailed by injury, and I would have got the chance to see, as an adult, as a senior, like over 18, whether I could be the best in the world, because how arrogant does this sound? I thought I was, or I thought I would be, and I'd like to know if that could have happened. I'll be honest, if I'd have been born 10 years later, it couldn't have happened, and I'll tell you for why. Because I would never have taken PEDs. I'd never have taken performing enhancing drugs. I just wouldn't have done it. Not ever, ever, ever. And that means that not only would I have not been the best in the world, I wouldn't have even been employable as a professional bike rider. I would be so far behind the general level of performance that I would literally be unemployable. Because, you know, don't listen to what anybody else tells you. From 1991 onwards, every major cycle race has been won by somebody using performance enhancing drugs. Every single one. And if you're not using them, not only do you not win, you can't even compete. You wouldn't even have a place on a team. But being the age that I was, I would have had a 1 to 2 year window where I could have genuinely seen where I stood in the world before the performance enhancers kicked in, and I would have just disappeared from sight. And then what I would have done would have been what was always my original career plan, and that would have been to be a QC, which is now, of course, a KC. In other words, to be a barrister and then to take silk and become what is now a King's Counsel. That was always a plan. I did read law. Due to circumstance, I did several degrees concurrently. But I did read law, but I only read 3 years before I gave that element of it up. So to answer the question, I would have had my pro career. It would have been cut short because I didn't take drugs, but I would have had my 2 years where I could have done what I could have done that I didn't get because of injury. And then I would have just gone on to be a barrister. That was always the plan. And then life just gets in the way, doesn't it? Don't forget the baby, Jesus. I meant Bristol's the cars, Trace. Not Bristol's the melons. Do you think he ever had any experience in motorboats? What? Me? Don't forget not to wheeze your frying. I'd have a Volkswagen Beetle, rather you than me. If I could rewrite history 25 years ago, I wouldn't spend the equivalent of £110 a day on drink, food and women. I bloody would. I would. Bedtime for Black Lions. Okay. Right, okay. The internet's going to go off again any moment. People are saying good night. We've made it to midnight, which is what I plan to do until... I'm sorry tonight's been a bit coitus interruptus. But I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully things will be better. Have a fabulous day. And hopefully I'm going to play you out. Here we go. There we go. I just farted perfectly in time with the song. I've never been more proud of myself. Thank you so much for your company tonight. I'm sorry about the Wi-Fi interruption. Normal service will hopefully be resumed tomorrow. And on the subject of tomorrow, have a great one. Have a safe and peaceful night. Hope tomorrow is fantastic for you in at least some way. And let's all get together again and talk about it at 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Good night, my lovelies. Stay safe, stay warm, take care.